Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl with Creative Wreaths and Flowers, and you've entered into the creative bubble. And tonight what I'm going to show you is how to make a Dollar Tree wreath for Halloween. All of my items have come from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to show you the mess on my table that I'm starting with. And then what we'll do is we'll get down and we'll start doing our project. I'll try to do you slowly. I don't have a Mevo. I do use OBS. So here is what I have decided to work with today down on my table. And you see my keyboard because my table is also my business table. I have a 2x4 table and it does everything because this is in my living room. And we have a very small spot right now. Someday I'm going to have a big craft room and I'm going to be all excited. But for now, this is what we have to work with and we're going to go for it. So now that you've seen the supplies, I'm going to go ahead and stop here for a moment, rearrange my space, get ready, and we'll start making our Dollar Tree wreath. Okay, so I'm back now. And I'm going to explain my setup here, what I have, and I haven't got my mesh on it yet, but, all right, this is a mesh holder that Michael made me. It's 3-tiered, and you can find mesh holders available through Susie's Wreaths and Things on her Etsy store, and I will post that link down under the descriptions. It really helps out when you're doing poofs and things, and it helps to hold your mesh when you're cutting. My other object that I'm going to be using right now, this is a plastic bag sealer. Dollar Tree mesh has been known for having a lot of fray, so I'm going to do a 2-step process. I'll show you a little bit, then I'll cut my mesh all out, and then I'll show you again. I have not cut into the stock they have this year with the Halloween mesh, but I will be using, these are from the Halloween collections that they have out in the store. These are 2 variegated meshes, so we'll be using those, and I'm going to be using some purple and some black, and I'm not sure how much we're going to use yet. You might need 2 rolls of each, but 1 roll of each might be fine. I'm going to do ruffles tonight, and I'm going to do them not with a working form, but I'm going to use a 14-inch Dollar Tree form. And then we are going to connect the ruffles with a pipe cleaner that we use. So we'll see how that goes. Actually, it's a first time. You're seeing a first time experience. But how I'm going to cut my mesh is I'm going to use, this is a plastic bag sealer. It's the 20-inch. I just got it in. I'm so excited. I'm going to go through, and what I will do is seal where I want to cut every piece of mesh. And I'm going to cut each piece of mesh 10 inches long. So I will pull my mesh out to here and then I will seal it at 10 inches. I have my mesh holder my plastic bag sealer at 10 inches. And then I will go back and I will cut the mesh afterwards. And you can cut it with your rotary cutter. You can cut it with your scissors. I use an electronic rotary cutter, but sometimes I don't when I've melted the mesh to seal it because it's kind of wonky, so I usually use scissors because this is only 6-inch mesh and it comes in 5-inch rolls, 5-yard rolls. And I think it's all that way because if you use the one with the printed spider webs on it, it only comes in 3-yard rolls. Yeah, all of this comes in 5-yard rolls. So we're going to cut it at 10 inches each so that our ruffles are a little bigger. I'm only planning on putting 1 ruffle on the ring. And so we're going to see how that works out for us. So now I've opened the mesh and I've got it on our mesh roller or mesh holder. And I wanted to show you that when you take the plastic and the tag off of the mesh, if you turn it over, it does give you instructions on making your own Halloween wreath. And you can find those, and or keep one of those if you'd like. I have to hold it like this to read it. So, but there are instructions on how to make your own Halloween wreaths. So if you want to keep those, you can put that in. What I have is called a wreath recipe book. And I keep all of my wreaths that I try to keep all of my wreaths that I make in there and how I price them in there, so that if I want to make another one, I know exactly how it's going to be. I'm just going to try to take my plastic bag sealer, and I've got it set on one. This is a brand new plastic bag sealer. I have not used it yet. And I'm just going to take one of my meshes, and what I do is I push it underneath this holder at the bottom so it holds it down. But I'm just going to bring it over here. I think the first thing I want to do is I want to try to get a melted good first edge. So I'll just put a little bit of it here. And this does not heat up until you engage it. I'm just going to push this down. I'm going to engage it. The red light will pop off. I'm going to hold it there for a few moments. I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to look. Yeah, that didn't work. So I'm going to turn up my heat as far as possible to the 8. And we're going to try it again. And it only stays on long enough, and it does not, like I said, as you can see, I'm putting my fingers on it. It only, even plugged in, it's not warm. It's not hot. It only engages when you pull the handle down. I got this through Amazon.com. Hopefully going to be able to set a link up to show you guys where I get my tools. There's a bad spot in the mesh that I don't like right there. So I'm going to go over here. And I just kind of line it up on here. Make sure that it's where I want it. And I'm just going to push down the handle very hard. There's a red light. It's kind of hard to see. It's gone off now. And after the red light goes off on this, I'll wait a few minutes or a few seconds. And I'll lift it up. And as you can see, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see where it has done some melting, just like it would with your wood tool. And that's the line we're going to cut when we go back through. So since this is my clean edge, I'm going to set it over here. Now I did get a whole bunch of these heavier rock items from the Dollar Tree. This one says Hope. They have them in different seasons. I'm just going to set it there to help me hold that. And I've got my plastic bag sealer about 10 inch, you know, I put my line on the 0 over to 10 inches, and I'm just going to make sure I don't pull it off that line. Sorry. I'm just going to pull it over here. And I'm going to push it down. The red light's on. The red light goes off. I'm going to hold it down. They usually say like you can count to 10. Lift it up. And we have a sealed edge. And we're just going to do that. And I'm going to do this. I'll do a couple more. But I'm going to go through and melt it like this. And this does make your wreath a little bit more labor intensive, and you don't have to do this. You can use a wood burning tool to cut it, or you can use your rotary cutter or whatever item you use to cut your mesh, scissors. But right now you'll see 3, and then I have also purple. And I'm going to cut 1 full roll of each mesh because I am not sure exactly how much at this moment I'm going to use until I'm done. But first I'll go through and melt each roll, and then I'll go back and I will cut them. So it does take a little bit longer, so if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But I'm just going to cut the mesh. For this project, I'm cutting the mesh at 10 inches, and then we're going to work on, I'm going to move it up a little bit. Then we're going to work on making them into what I would like to call ruffle bundles. I'm going to also use some of the, I hate the brown. We're also going to use some of the ribbon. I bought one of each ribbon. I made sure I got all the ribbon they had in their Halloween collection. And I've chosen some ribbon that I'll show you when we get to there. And I'm going to decide how long then I want to cut it. But we're just going to cut the ribbon, and I'm going to put it right into my ruffle bundle. But since we're not using a working type or a form with the pipe cleaners already on it on our box, on our 14-inch wreath form, I'm gonna decide that we're gonna do it, I guess it would be like you would do curls. But I wanted to show you from the beginning, I wanted to show you sometimes it does melt completely through. But I wanted to just show you in the beginning how I cut my mesh, how I do my mesh. And what I'll do, I'm going to just take scissors today. I'm not going to use my works cutter because sometimes the melt gets gets caught in the blade. So I don't have a problem just using my scissors for a 6-inch mesh. If it was a larger mesh, I might. I'm just going to throw that piece away. And then I'm going to cut these all in to 10-inch length pieces, so they're 6 by 10, because I'm thinking 10 will probably fill up my wreath like I want it. So you just go back and I find where the line is. Like I said, this is labor intensive, so if you don't want to do it this way, just cut your mesh in 6 inches across, 10 inches long. And then when I come back, I'll have all my mesh cut and we'll be ready to move on to show you the ribbon to make our ruffles with. Okay, now we have gotten all of our mesh cut, each roll from Dollar Tree, cutting it at 10 inches, made between 16 and 18 rolls depending on if there were any spots in it or how much I trimmed off on the beginning and end. So now we're going to move on to our next step. As you can see, here's our cut. I cut black, purple, and 2 variegated. There's actually a third version of the variegated, but I only had 1 roll of it and didn't notice it until after I was done cutting. But you can use any mesh you want for a wreath like this, but we're using these for our Halloween. The next step that I'm going to do, and I'll bring it in a little bit. The next step I'm going to do, what I did was on my mesh holder, I have put my ribbons, and I got 2 of each. 2 of them, as you can see, are actually 3 of them I've used before, and they're open. But I'm going to cut each of these ribbons, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that in the bundle, and I'm going to put ribbons on them. And I believe, because these are 10 inches, I think we'll go ahead and we'll cut our ribbon. I'm going to cut it at just 9 inches. They're all 2.5 wide. I like using 1.5, but the Dollar Tree ribbon that are wired are 2.5 wide. So now I'm going to go. Now I'm going to go and cut those. And I do have some. So what I have is Michael made me. We had some extra woodwork trim. So Michael has made me some items to help me to cut the ribbons. Some people use a piece of cardboard and they cover it with duct tape and they wrap it around. However, that gets real thick. It's a little hard for me to cut. So Michael's made me some. I'll turn down the camera here. Whoops. I'll change the cam and then we'll turn down the camera. We'll go a little closer so you can see better. What he did is he made me one that is 9-inch, and I use this a lot of the times for my Unique and the Creek board system because I cut a lot of things there in 9-inch. And then he made me the standard 10-inch sized ribbon if I want it, 12-inch, and we marked on them so I would remember, and 14-inch. I use 14 on my larger wreaths, or 12. I'm like the 12 more than I like the others. The 10-inch is what I believe. No, I'm going to use the 9-inch today. This is a 9-inch piece, and it's just a piece of woodwork trim, and it's cut 9 inches long. And how I'm going to do this, I showed you where the ribbon was over here on my holder, and that just helps me to keep it from rolling all over. Because if you don't keep it straight doing this method, it's kind of hard to do because it will roll on you. But what I'm going to do, and you can see where I've dovetailed it the last time, I'm just going to put that part there. I'm just going to pull it down, and I'm going to wrap it around. And my goal is to make these bundles. Like I said, there's between 16 and 18 of each color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these ribbons at 9 inches, and I want to cut, I'm trying to decide how many I want to cut. Well, let's see how many this one makes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm at the end of this row. So we got 8 out of that roll of ribbon. I'm just going to trim this here. And then what I do, and they don't all have to be uniform length, I'm going to cut that there, slip my fingers between, let the board fall out, and I'm just going to take the end here, I'm going to cut like this. So now I have 8 pieces, and I have 3 of them. We're basically shooting towards 36 ruffles. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I would like to have 1 more of this particular ribbon. So I'm going to open up another spool that's over here. Oops, I was trying to show you what I'm doing here. It's over here on my my mesh holder that I'm using for my ribbon. Oh no, and I pulled the thing out, so we'll just pull it out here. And you don't have to have that. It's just if you're going to wind a lot, it really does help. Usually I let them fall to the floor and then they spool around and it gets difficult. Now, I like to cut this piece off. If you're trying to save ribbon length, you might not want to do that, but sometimes I can't get that end to sit good. So I just cut that piece off. I'm going to cut 1 more of these. So I think I'm going to cut 9 of each ribbon. Like I said, I'm kind of designing this as I go. Okay, so I have 9 of these. And then I'll just, I use painter's tape. I'm not sure this piece will stick, but we're going to try. But I just use the painter's tape to stick back on there. And it just helps hold it so it doesn't unroll when I put it on my ribbon rack that Michael also made. So, pardon Lamba, she's out in the garage getting excited. I'm not sure why. Now, each one of these, and you can do them in more than one, but I want them to have a little flare at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to what they call dovetail them. I just turn my ribbon. I'm going to move my camera back over. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. I'm just going to turn my ribbon in half, and I'm going to cut it like a 45-degree angle from the inside to the outside, and that will just make your detail on the end of your ribbons. You don't have to do that. You can cut the ends any way you want if you'd like, but I'm just going to trim them like that. And I'm just going to sit them there. Sometimes I do push my table out and cut them over. I am so sorry about Lamba. I do, but you can take, this is 4 ribbons. So it depends on how thick your ribbon is. This is a kind of a satin ribbon, so it's not too thick. This is not too thick, so I'm going to go ahead and put 4 together, and I'm just going to put them in, and then they all come out. And then I'm not so worried as they measure exactly 9 inches, as I want to make sure that they're all dovetailed. So I'm just going to line them up. And this is the part that I had from before. Fold them in half. And that one didn't come out on the end very well. There we go. I'm just going to put them there. And then I'm going to take the rest of them, because there's 3 left, because I showed you the one by itself. And you can do them, like I said, you can do them individually. I guess there's 4 here, I'm sorry. You can do them individually, or you can put them as thick as you want to cut them. Remember, the more you cut, the more that you have the chance of not having the exact dovetail look, and you might have to cut again and trim up. Just make about a 45-degree angle or so. But you can find any kind of style you'd like if you do not want your edges just flat. And now we have Ryder screaming. My grandson likes to scream, sorry. All right, so now we have them all dovetailed, those 9. And I'm going to continue doing that. And you know, I said 4, and actually, let me think about this a second. 36 bundles, and I have 3 ribbons. So I actually want 12. So 9, where did I put that? So I'm going to cut 12 of each of my ribbons. And remember, these ribbons only have 3 feet on them, so you may need 2 rolls. 9, that would be 10, 11, and down at the end here, see how it rolls? That's why I like to keep it on something. You can also use, if you have a not a bow dabber, a pro bow, you can also use your spool holder from that. But that's 12, because I needed 3 more if I had 9. I'm just going to trim it off. Because this is going to be the single fold, I'm just going to slip in here and cut it. Then I'm going to take this one, because that one, oops, sorry about that. That one was singular. I'm just going to take this one here, snip it, and then I'm just going to hold the 3 of them together. Fold them in half and cut my 45-degree angle for the dovetail. Fold them in half. And there we go. And I'm going to just set those over here to the side. And like I said, I have 2 more to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and pause now and go and cut 12 more of each of the other 2 ribbons. And then we'll be ready to put bundles together. Well, I'm going to cut some deco tubing too. I'll show you that, and then you can get both the deco tubing and the ribbon cut. Let's see. It's a smaller wreath, but I don't want them too small. What we do after we get our deco tubing together, what you're going to do, and there's different ways to do this, but basically I just want to make a figure 8 out of my deco tubing, and I'm not going to put it in every bundle. So let's see. Let's cut a 20-inch piece. And this is also from the Dollar Tree. They didn't have much at my Dollar Tree, but they did have the green, the orange, and I do have a little bit of brown. So we're going to cut 20-inch pieces, I believe. And then what we'll do is we'll make a bow-shaped or a figure-8 out of them. And you can do that any way you want. And we'll put that on top of a few of our bundles just for another little blingy up. All right. So the ribbons are at 9 inches. And the Deco mesh tubing, I'm going to cut at 20 inches. And I have both green and I have orange. And I think I'm going to cut 9 of the green and 9 of the orange at 20 inches. I don't happen to have the tops on these, so I'm not sure how long it comes into, but it's a pretty good bundle. Okay, so like I said, just take it, measure it out, 20 inches, and if you want, then of course you can do like this and not have to measure each one. I still have it in its bag because otherwise it just goes everywhere. And then after I get a few of them wound up, I'm just going to snip it, snip it, snip it. Now I have 4 pieces made, so I'll make 5 more of those and then 9 of the orange, and I will do those other ribbons. And then when we have all of that, I'll have it all laid out here, then I will come back and we'll start constructing our bundles that we want to put the 14-inch wire wreath form that we got from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those all up, and then I'll be back and we'll start constructing our bundles for our wire form. Now that we have all of our supplies cut and ready to work with, we're going to make our bundles. Now when you start making your bundles, you're going to need your black pipe cleaners or purple. I have both. I got those both at the Dollar Tree. We're going to take a piece of our Deco mesh and we're just going to ruffle it up. And as you can see, I've gotten out my bow dabber again. If you don't have a bow dabber, you can use a clothespin or a chip clip where you just make your ruffle. And you just put it on your ruffle the way you want it. Having a little problem, sorry. Just stick it on your ruffle the way you want it. I'm going to use my bow dabber. I'm just going to stick it in there, and I'm going to stick it sideways so that I can fluff out the ruffle when I'm done. Then I'm going to put the purple and I'm going to put this color of variegated together. They are thin. That's why I'm going to put 2 of them together. I am going to put that right down on top of it, like this. Then I'm going to take one of my ribbons, doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to just push it in the middle, and I'm going to take these 2 ruffles out. I'm going to stick those on top, stick it on top of those 2 ruffles like that. Basically, this is how you would put it in a tie on an one that already had the ties on it, or the stems. And I'm just going to take it, I'm going to pull it tight, and give it about 3 good twists right down. You want to be right down by the mesh. And I know it's thin, but we're going to put enough on there so that we don't have an issue with seeing the ring. So I'm going to make 4 all together and show you, and then I will proceed on. You're going to put at least 6 on these first ones. We're going to use the 2 inner rings when we put them on. Now the next bundle I'm going to use my black. And then I'm going to use the variegated orange and black. I'm just going to pick up a second ribbon. This time I'm going to use the spider and the black spider, the gold spiders and black spider web. Find the middle, stick it in there. I'm going to just pick it all up together. And if your ruffle comes out, no problem. You can ruffle it back up with your fingers. Just try to stay in the middle. Get a pinch on it. And pinch my ribbon back up. I'm going to grab my black pipe cleaner, or all of them, I guess. Make sure that ribbon's kind of the same on each side. Bring down my pipe cleaner. I'm going to twist it tight. My ribbon slipped, so I'm going to loosen it and move my ribbon back. Because I want it more uniform. Try this again. That's the highlight, as you can keep doing it. It will fray some. Friction makes your deco mesh fray, but, and you can actually floof your ruffles after you get it put on your wreath. So there's two. Now we're going to make another one, and we're going to use our first combination. And I'm just using my Bodabra as a holder for my ruffles because I don't have the dexterity in my hands to hold them all in between my fingers. Some people do. So what you can do if you don't have a chip clip or that, you can just hold them right here in your fingers like this. My problem is by the time I get everything done, I would have nothing that resembled ruffles. Right in the middle of your ribbon. Pinch your ribbon down. Pick your bundle up. I like to put my ribbon on top of the two as opposed to putting it on top of the last ruffle that I made. I'm going to pull this just a little bit this way. Get a good tight squeeze that on the middle. Take your pipe cleaner, put it around. Holding it tightly towards your mesh and ribbon and twisting. And we'll do one more with the black, and I'll show you why. The black and the orange. I'm going to do this one just a tad different. Go ahead and get our mesh ruffled up. And you can put this mesh on any way you want to create a pattern that you want. I'm going to ruffle these up. I'm trying to see if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just using the metallic line to ruffle it up because that's basically the center. And on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pipe cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and put these two ruffles together without a ribbon. And you could do this with the ribbon also. We'll try one of the, I'll try one of those offline, but. And then you're just going to twist it up to make your ruffle bundle. Now on this one, instead of using your ribbon, we're going to put Deco tubing on it. So we cut those in our 20-inch pieces, and with our Deco tubing, this is our piece of Deco tubing, we're just going to take and basically cross that together. I'm going to twist it. I'm going to bring it down like that. I lost it, sorry. We're going to take, we're going to twist and bring it down. So we basically have two loops. I'm going to pinch it in the middle. And then I'm going to take it over here to my bundle, and you can put these on any way you want. This is just how I decided to do it. I'm going to lay it down on my bundle. I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, and this is where my hand dexterity kind of comes into problem, but I'm going to wrap it back around like this, so that I have that Deco tubing. It's crisscrossed around the Deco tubing. I'm going to pull it tight, and I'm going to twist it again. And we still have enough pipe cleaner, maybe a little tight, but this is going to be what I'm going to make 4 bundles like that in a row. That's how I'm going to make them until I have, and that hopefully will give us 36 bundles, which means you can use 6 across in each section. And then your this bundle will look like this. And I'll put these first 4 on and show you. Then I'm going to go and make my bundles and put most of them on, and then I'll show you how we finish it off before we put on our decorations. So we're just going to grab our bundles. It doesn't necessarily matter what pattern you use, just one you like with your different bundles. I'm going to take, let's see, this is the first bundle we made actually with the skull heads. And on your form, you're going to go between, one pipe cleaner on this side and one pipe cleaner on this side from your bundle, hoping that you can see that. I'm just going to grab the 2 of them down here so it's over those 2 middle bundles. And you don't have to worry about them being glued, because when you push them all together, they're going to be tight. You're going to pull it down tight and twist in the back 3 or 4 good times. And that's our first bundle on our frame. Now I'm going to take, this is the second bundle we made, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go using these 2 middle bars all the way around, one on the top of the top one underneath between the bottom 2 rungs. So between the top 2 rungs and the bottom 2 rungs, I'm going to hold this up, and I'm going to scoot it over, right over, tightly against the bundle we just put on. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it Take the pipe cleaners underneath, and I'm going to give them 3 good twists, or 4, whatever you're more comfortable with. I'm going to come back over here. I want to make sure they're tight. Take the 3rd bundle we made, slipping it in between the bottom 2 rungs and the top 2 rings, whatever. Slip it down through here. So I'm going to put my bundles on, and then I'm going to make sure that they are positioned and fluffed the way I like. I'm going to tighten it on. And squish them together. And then I'm going to take the last one we made, positioning it between the top 2 rungs and the bottom 2 rungs. I'm going to take it, pull it around, and then I'm just going to tighten it 3 or 4 good times. And push it over so that they're all close together. Now, after we get them all on, we'll go through. We'll fluff out our Deco mesh, holding it up like you do with your ruffles all the time. You want to make sure your ruffles are all pulled up. This one I want to put the bottom in. But you can just, as I like to say, manipulate it the way you want it to look. And until you fill the section, they will slip away. And then you can take later, when we're done, we'll just put our ribbons where they look good. I did choose to use just 1 ribbon on a roll because I thought that would be enough. I'm just going to spread them out over top of your mesh. You don't even have to use those if you don't want. Some people don't use the ribbon. Or you can use all tubing. It's, you know, it's all artist choice. But you kind of go through there and move your ribbons around and things. And then your Deco mesh will stick up the way this one is. And that is what it's going to start looking like. We're going to make a pattern with these all the way around. Like I said, they always normally start with 6 in here. You might want to put 7. As it fills in, you probably will need less per section. That's the way it works with the curls. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make my bundles, and I will fill in around to so far, and then I will come back and finish off the rest of it with you, and then we'll decide what kind of decor we'd like to put on it. I have quite a bit of decor that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and so we'll decide then what kind of decor we'll want. So I finished the bundles, and we've got them all onto our ring form up into the last 2 sections, and it looks like I probably need to put 1 more right here. We have 12 bundles left, and that's okay, so we'll just leave this one. We'll scooch these out a little bit. I've been trying to put 5 to 6 bundles. Most of them have 6 on each one. They don't fill out as much as the curls that we put in, but that's okay because there's going to be plenty of them. So I'm just going to start picking up our bundles and placing them on. Remember, I placed them between these 2 and between these 2. Making sure they go. There we go. And then I just attach them, 2 or 3 or more turns on the back because you have plenty of pipe cleaner left. And I'm just going to squish them together, pull my ruffles out. And the ribbons, the next time we do this, I might not put a ribbon in each one. I might just put a ribbon in every second one or every third one. This is a lot of ribbon, but I do like the look of it because we are just using one ribbon per ruffle. Then we're going to take our black one, and I just alternated the ribbons and the deco mesh in there. So that's one. Two. I'm going to hold this ruffle up when I squish it over there. And they won't move as much once you get them all placed because they will, you know, be closer together, so they will hold their shape, or they should anyway. And we want, that was a black one, so we'll want a purple one. And this, like I said, it did use every ruffle that I had. So we cut one of each mesh. I cut one of each ribbon, and I did have ribbon left over, so you wouldn't have to cut all of it if you didn't want to. Or you can save it for another project, either on the roll or cut. They're cut, I think we did 10. Might have done, no, maybe we did 9. Yeah, we did 9. Sorry guys, I've done this in 2 or 3 different sittings while doing other things. So. You just kind of got to move your ribbon and your mesh ruffles out, just like you would with 10-inch. 10-inch is easier to work with, I will say that. Now we're going to want a black. So that's purple. I'm looking for a black with a deco on it, with the tubing. I can put you up closer, I'm sorry. I'll do that as soon as I connect this one. There you go. Maybe you can see a little bit more what I'm doing. And like I said, after I put it on there, just kind of squish it over. And work on my ruffles here and get them pulled out. And let's see, one. Just pick up one. I'm just trying to alternate my ribbons, because I have 3 different ribbons and then a deco mesh. So I'm trying to just kind of alternate them. They don't have to be in an exact pattern. I'm trying to keep them kind of close. But I thought I'd just finish these 2 sections off with you and then show you how we're going to finish it all up. And this will have a hole in the middle when we're done, so we won't be covering the back with the standard placemat. We'll just let it sit because there will be a hole in the middle. But you could put any decoration. You could put a happy Halloween sign in the middle if you wanted. I'm not going to, because one, I don't have one. But they did have them earlier in the season. I used it on a different wreath, so. And we're going to put one more in this set. I can get stuck. There we go. So we want this black one. You can see as you go around the wreath, it does fill it up very nicely. You can do the same thing except you can take your mesh. There's 4 of them. You can, if you want, you can choose 3, or you can do as many as you want, but I usually put my rolls in 3s. You can put them in 2s, you can put them in 6s, you can put them however you want to make your bundles. It's up to you. Artist's choice. I just normally use 3. The 6-inch is a little thinner and not as long, so it doesn't make such a fluffy wreath as the 10-inch or more. We may have to pause here in a moment. That's okay. Straighten out my thing, and now I'm going to get ready. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do our last ones in here. Still doing. They get a little tougher as you get to the end because you're running out of as much space. That's what you want. You want a very full wreath. You don't want it to look thin or sparse. And then you can do it any way you want. When you put these on, you can put them on so that they're all uniform. You can just put them on however you want because it's a multi-pattern. It's not pull these out right. Okay, there we go. But this is, you can get your Dollar Tree items, and this will make you a very cute wreath for your door or wall in your home. I'll probably put this one on my door. One with Deco mesh again. Just push it over. I'm just going to use the hole I have here. I do try to center them in between the 2 rings, my bundles. As I get to the end here, I don't have as much choice with my pattern because of just the way they're turning out. Let's see here. We want to do this one this way. And of course, you're always having to foo-foo your ribbons or your ruffles. I'm just going to keep filling in. I'm actually going to push this one to the left so that the 2 black ribbons aren't together. And we'll go back and I'll show you how I finish off the pipe cleaners on the bottom here in a moment. They really have a lot of cute Halloween decorations this year at the Dollar Tree. I thought I was done with Halloween, and then I picked up a bunch of decorations, so I'm like, wow. And whenever you have the wreath as full as you want, you can stop. I'm just going to try to use all my bundles, because that way I won't have to store them for the next project. So I've got 3 left. Just pull it through. Pull it here. Very, very end, it gets a little tedious, but make sure I pull this one up this way. This one goes this way. Make sure I get the Deco mesh turned up there on the top. There we go. And I have room for, I could put several more, but I'm just going to use what I had from using just one roll of each item. But like what I did, you can put each bundle on as you make it, but what I did was I showed you all the first few, and then I went back and I made all my bundles, and then I started placing them on until I had these last few to finish off with you guys. So I like to do that. I like to make all my bundles and then turn and put all of them on. And then if I don't think I have enough, I can cut more if I need to, but I'm pleased with how full this is, so I'm just not pleased that I'm not grabbing the right pipe cleaner right now. I've got so much down in there now, it's kind of getting just a tad incy bit hard to work with. But just a teensy. Just want to make sure you get every pipe cleaner tied off good. Try that one off again. No, I see what's happening. Let's look at that. Okay, we're good. And I've got, this is my last one. Slip it right here. And this will be the last bundle that I have, so it'll be the last bundle we put in this wreath. Now get it put in. Deco mesh has gotten kind of pulled under, so I'm just going to pull that up. You can just, like I said, you can floof these any way you want. If floof is a word. I guess we'll make it a word in the bubble. Floofing. Alright. You may have a little bit of fray, even though I did seal this. Any friction causes fray, and there's a lot of, actually quite a bit of friction in this, because I have them so close together. but you can do them any way you want. This is how I chose, so I'm calling this my ribbon, ruffle ribbon. And I'm just spacing them in and out. And you take your fingers and curl them. So that they will go both ways. I'm sorry, I know my shoulder's in the way. Just notice that. Alright. So now, this is the wreath that we've ended up with. It's full and it's very nice. And now I'm going to go get the decorations and we'll see if we want to put some on. You wouldn't have to. You could leave it like this. But I have some decorations that I think I'm going to give it a shot. So I'll be right back. Okay. So I did find this large spider. This was at the Dollar Tree. Came on this package. And I think what I'm going to do to attach him, I suppose I could. Let's try. Let's try and see what happens. I'm going to take my bead smith because he's just plastic. I guess we have to put this right. It's kind of already made a hole. But I'm just going to try to put a hole in his bottom, outside two legs. He's got a hold of my hand. And I'm going to kind of put him over the middle. Won't block the hole. Won't block the hole, but, or I mean, the middle of the wreath, but he'll look good there, I think. Okay, then I've cut 4 pieces of wire here. This is our floral wire. I believe it's 26 gauge, but don't hold me to that one. Go the direction of our wall. That didn't work. Sorry guys, I gotta get it kind of close to my face. Guess it doesn't go all the way through. Then I picked up the wrong thing. Oops. So I'm just going to try to go back through and start from the back side so the hole will go all the way through. Because it's pretty good sized plastic, so let's see if that accomplished it. I think maybe we got it that time. They had the glasses. I haven't ordered them yet. I have to go see another eye specialist within the month. So I don't want to order my glasses before I do that. So I'm afraid if they give me any type of procedure or remove my cataracts, I'll be paying a lot of money for glasses that won't be worth it. Alright, I cannot get it through the hole, so in that case, I think what I'll do, this is his front, I'm just going to take it. I can't see the wire. You guys might be able to. So I'm just going to take it and twist it around the front leg here. Let's see if these other holes worked. Oh, yeah, that one didn't go through either, so we'll just do the same thing here. And I'm just going to use, I'm not making it in half, I'm just using it as a single wire, which will work fine. I'm going to put it around that one. So I guess the beadsmith didn't look good on plastic. Note to self, don't do that next time. I swear I thought they were going through, but they didn't come through the back side, so it's pretty thick plastic. I had laid 4 wires down here. Well, I found 3. That's pretty good. We're just going to go where the joint of his leg is up here by his body. And put our floral wire around it. And then just twist. I don't twist well with my left hand, so I'm going to twist the spider with my right hand. So I've got 3 wires on me. Oh, there's the 4th wire. And so the 4th wire we'll just put down around this leg like this. And that should be enough. I mean, if you're uncomfortable with it holding him on, you can always put glue on it. Alright, and we're going to make these come down like this because that way we can hide them underneath our mesh and attach to our frame. So I'm going to take these 4 wires and I'm just going to put them down in the middle of my circle. Put them down through the circle. I'm going to place the spider. It doesn't really matter where you place him. You can always decide where the top of your wreath is later. And I'm going to take, I'm using the top right leg wire. I'm just going to find the bottom of my frame. Which reminds me we didn't finish our pipe cleaners off, so we'll turn it over here in a second and do that. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to put him in there. He doesn't have to be perfect or anything. You just want to make sure he's held in so he doesn't fall off. So I'm just going to root him over here like this. Does make it kind of easy for you. No, you can't. Okay. Then let's see the other wire for this leg. There's the far part of the wire. I'm just going to find a place to put it. Around the bottom, about around this bottom ring. It's very hard to see this wire. I don't know about for you guys, but for me it's horrid. And I didn't want him down under the mesh, so I left him on the top. And I do want to get it around there about 3 good times at least. Maybe that's 4. I'm not going to clip him off just yet. So I want to make sure he's semi-attached to where I want him. But like I said, since he's not a sign, he doesn't have to be placed perfectly in the middle. He doesn't have to be turned a certain way. He can just be put on there however you want. Whatever you want the look to be, that's... So there is, like I said, several different decors at the Dollar Tree. So you can get whatever you want and put it on your wreath to your liking. That's the wonderful thing about wreath making. It just has to set, if you're making it for you, it just has to satisfy you. If you're making for a gift, it just has to satisfy you, or you know, kind of want to make something that the person you're giving to would like. That would be good. But they should like anything you make because it's made from your heart. So 1, 2. You could also put a drop of damp glue on the back if you didn't think it was holding strong enough or slipping down on your legs. But, you know, that's totally your call, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm kind of comfortable with the way it is. I'm actually kind of tying this wire. Kind of feeling if I tie it, it'll give it a little better hold up to the frame. Okay. So when we turn it back over, we can decide where we want our front to be, and he's just in there. So I'm happy with that. Let me go back down to our close table again. I'm going to get my wire cutters, and I'm going to feel for those wires, and I'm just going to cut them down there. Make sure you leave enough, though, that you can tuck them down around your wire frame so they won't stick out and scratch your door. I have to put it in the trash as I do this, or I won't be able to find them again. Tuck that back down in behind. I guess that is, I lost it. This one isn't tied. Maybe I didn't do that. I thought I did. Sure did. But we'll do it again just because. When all else fails, take a second. I'm just wrapping the wire around the ring form. And I just attached them to the bottom or the inside ring of the wreath. And I know there's got to be one more somewhere. Now we'll find it as we go along, I'm sure. Now, before I put any more decor on, what I'm going to do is show you how I'm going to finish off these underneath stems. So I've turned them 3 or 4 or 5 good times. So I'm just going to clip them off, and then I'm just going to tuck them down so that they don't come out and scratch my ring. You can finish them off however you like, but this is just how I do it. It's kind of easy, and we don't have to worry, and it doesn't look bad. So and being that they're on the middle wires, I mean, you can tuck them, but you don't have to be too careful, because if they're on the inside or outside ring, there's a chance they could scratch your door, but they are raised up a little bit. And I'll go ahead, and I'm just going to do another one for you, but I'll go ahead later and cut the rest of them off and tuck them, because I'm sure you know how to cut and tuck. So okay, and then so your finished product, or your finished wreath, will look like this, not with all of these. wires hanging out that look like spiders, that's kind of what we're going for. Or what we put on it anyway at this time. So here it is. I gotta move them up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna go back down to the table though, because I like these, because I like this color. Purple's a really cool color for me, so. I bought some bats. And these are purple bats. And really, the wreath is pretty without having to put much decor on it. These bats also, there's 4 of them in a pack, and they clip on. And I like that, because it's my own wreath, I am not going to worry about glue. Okay, they clip on, but they also, you have to be careful, because you don't tear the card to get the clip off, but they just snap back on. So it's pretty cool. Because there's a little knob right there, and you just find a little knob spot on your clip, and then you just put it on and then push down. Or I do have the dab glue over here, and so see, there's a part here that sticks into the foam. But what we're going to do is, since I did that, and broken. Oops. Just going to take my dab glue. And this side with the hole in it, I'm just going to put some dab glue on it. And then where the knob is on the bat, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little knob. I'm going to just try to set that clip right over that knob area. Well, it doesn't want to go in, so you know what? We're just gonna put dab glue on there, on the bat, right below that knob. I could wire him on. I could even glue him onto the wreath if I wanted. But I'm just going to take this and hold it there for a minute without my other finger on it so I don't glue my fingers to it. Pardon me. And since it hasn't dried, and I want to make sure it does, I'm going to set that one over there. And we're going to try to do this again without killing. Oh, I see. I see how they're on there now. And I'll show you. That little tab that's up is just stuck in that little tab there. So they kind of give a three-dimensional look. I always think they put these little clips on backwards. So I'm just going to find a piece of mesh. And I'm just going to clip him on. Like I said, since this is going to be for my door, I'm not going to worry about gluing them. Look, that guy fell off. I didn't even do it. So you might want to use a little dab glue on them, because they do come off of their clip kind of easily. That's okay. Good crafter can do anything. And I'm just going to find another spot to clip him. And now I think I know how it works. This little part that sticks up, that little, if it comes out, you could put dab on there, but I'm just going to stick it back in. I'm not going to go to the trouble. And when the other little guy dries or I get him back, I'll put him over in this area there. So I put those on there. I have another package of them, but I'm not going to use them. Because I'm thinking this with all the ribbon, it's looking, to me, let's back you up a little bit. To me, it's looking a little like busy. Sorry about Michael's knees there. So I hope you, I'm trying to see if you can see it. I do have green and orange spiders that I could put on if I wanted. They're a little bit hard to glue, but I think with the DAP we can get them maybe, because I'm just setting them on there right now. I'm seeing what else I have down here. I have these and I thought I would use them. I don't know. Might take them apart and use them. I want to make those spiders fly off. I have these in orange, black, and the purple in my hand. What I might do with these is stick one down in there and kind of spread them out. That just gives it, and these are gonna, my spiders will fall off. And I actually haven't cut off these pipe cleaners yet where I attach my ruffles. I'm just gonna put this, I forgot to take the price tag off. I'm just gonna put this down in here and twist it around, and then I can go back over it with my DAP glue, and that will help hold it there. But first, we're gonna try to get the price tag off of it. That was silly of me. Tough little buggers. But anyway, I'll get that cut off. There we go. And like I said, since it is a little moving, I'm just going to take my pipe cleaners, I'm going to put them down this way. I'm going to take my DAP glue, okay, and go over, just like we did when we made our, well, I made a work one. I'm going to go over top of the pipe cleaners, and then I'm going to take and put some on the stem down here. And I'm just going to hold that for a minute. Or I'm going to take, I also have a lot of clothespins around. We'll just put that on there and hold it for a moment. So that gives us this. Maybe we won't use the spiders. I'm not sure yet. I want an orange one now. I'm going to cut the tag off before I put it on this time. I'm going to get ahead of myself. I actually didn't think these had tags, but silly me. Just going to kind of, you can kind of manipulate them, they're wiry. And I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to go down here on this one. And I'm going to see if I've got some of my pipe cleaners left that I haven't cut off yet. I can grab it. I'm just gonna tie these in there. And I would secure them a lot more secure if it wasn't my own personal wreath that I'm making right now. But I'm pretty confident that I can put it back where it belongs and reattach it if it comes off. It's kind of rough on my front door, but that's why it's kind of good sometimes not to cut your pipe cleaners off in the back, because you can use them for other things. Look at that, that's just standing there. So I think I'll do that. Oh no, Sorry, hit a button. Hit a button on my computer, my back end. I don't know what I'm going to do because that's my furthest back camera. Maybe you'll get a front view here in a minute. Let's put this other little guy on here. Alright, I'm going to turn it to my far face. And I'm going to hold it up. Nope. Oh, okay. Forgot what camera I was using. I'm sorry. Alright, so I don't know if you can see the little wiggies I put on it. And I have another black one of these, and I may put it down here on the bottom to give it just a little depth down there. Of course, it has a tag on it still too, so I'll go ahead and get that cut off. But I'm really not, it's so busy with all the ribbon and the Deco mesh and the Deco tubing that I don't really think it needs a lot of decoration. And I don't really think it would help it. I think it would just deter it. So I'm just doing this to just give it a little wing, little whiz. See if I can get this one put in here. And this is how what I'm gonna do for my Halloween door, or my door for Halloween. I'm gonna stick with the smaller one. Usually have great big ones on my door, so I'll be coming up with a big one probably for Christmas. Of course, Dollar Tree doesn't have out this year's Christmas yet, and I'm sure they'll be getting it soon. Everybody else's, but I can almost guarantee you that I'll probably make a blue one for my front door, because I will have Big Snowflake, and that's the blue and white that I will have out by the garage, so it'll match. Alright, let's see here. Got things flying all over me and glitter everywhere. My goodness. Alright, so here it is. I'm sorry I can't get back far enough for you to see it. Now maybe I can do it like that. And I have another one, so I may balance it out over here with another, maybe purple. But this is what we have for our wreath, and that's what we made tonight on our tutorial. So I just want to say to everybody thank you, and thank you for watching. I will be live next week again on Facebook and YouTube. You know, I'm sticking myself with my tools. But we'll be back live again. I don't have anything else that I know of scheduled until October, so I should be live until October unless something comes up that I'm not prepared for. But thank you very much for joining me this evening. I appreciate it. Don't forget to go to my Facebook page, Creative Wreaths and Flowers. You can like and follow there. You can subscribe to this YouTube page. If you click the bell up in the upper right hand corner, you should receive notifications when I upload a new tutorial or video. And join our page so you can get all our news and fun facts. And I'm going to let you go. Thank you again for joining. Everybody have a great evening. Bye-bye.